purpose of an amplifier is quite obvious. It just amplifies the original signal into a larger amplitude signal that is of a sufficient amplitude to drive a loudspeaker, and you need a bit more power. You could plug your iPod directly into a loudspeaker driver. It would just be very, very quiet. So the amplifier acts as a way to increase the amplitude of that signal. There are two types of amplification, passive and active. Passive amplifiers or passive loudspeakers require amplifiers that are outside of the loudspeaker. So you would take your the output of your CD player or whatever it is, you'll feed it into your external amplifier, and then your external amplifier will feed your passive loudspeaker. You can also have active amplification, which is in all the Orbit Sound products. They all have the loudspeakers, the amplifiers built into them, in which case the signal from your CD player or whatever it is goes into the loudspeaker, is amplified within the loudspeaker, and it then drives the drivers. Now, there are two types of amplification. One is voltage drive, and almost every loudspeaker ever designed has been designed for voltage drive. And there's also current drive, or transconductance. And not really any loudspeakers are designed with transconductance, and not really any drivers are designed for transconductance. But actually, current drive is better in many ways. And I think the best way to describe the difference between voltage and current drive, beyond the technical definition, which is simply that in a voltage drive amplifier, the amplifier tries to maintain the voltage, as opposed to the current drive amplifier, where the amplifier tries to maintain the current. The current drive amplifiers work a bit more like cruise control in a car. So say you're driving along and you've got cruise control on. The purpose of cruise control is to maintain a constant velocity, which means that as soon as you reach a hill, the power output from your car has to increase. And this will result in more fuel being injected into the engine. This allows you to maintain a constant velocity despite the increase in resistance associated with the hill. And so current drive works in the same way for loudspeakers. There are various impedances associated with driving a loudspeaker, and these impedances actually affect how well we can reproduce the sound signal. But if we use current drive, we overcome that because we compensate for any of those impedances. Voltage drive doesn't do that, and so you could always argue that current drive is a better way to drive loudspeakers, but you do tend to have to compensate for the differences by designing your loudspeaker driver specifically for current drive. You'll get a better result, and it may well pay off, but very few loudspeakers are actually designed for that.